3, 2, 1. Big Chungus.
Big Chungus.
We didn't say it at the same time. That's okay, right?
There's a little bit of a delay in Discord, which is why it was like such.
Discord, you piece of shit. We're trying to record a podcast, the Top of the World podcast with Justin Belanger and Joshua Hadley.
Yeah, we're trying to do that, Discord, you fucking son of a bitch. This is part of the episode, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, this is the episode.
Yeah,
this is the show.
Yeah, this is the show. Hello, everybody. We're Discord. How's it going?
So we're kind of I guess this reveals like how we do the podcast. We're doing it on Discord.
Yeah, much like how Tuck and I record Gopher and Tuck through Discord.
Man.
Old Discord. Cause
remember when we first started IMing each other? It was on what was it? MS Messenger?
MSN Messenger? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was. I remember there was it had these like things that were kind of like stickers on like current messaging platforms, but they like had sound, and they would like pop up in the middle of the screen. And they had one that was a pig, and it was dancing, and it would have like a little music playing while the pig would dance. I used to like be in group chats a lot, and just like out of nowhere use that so that it would startle people.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
Yeah.
I remember I got my sister. Well, my sister didn't care. She thought it was funny. Back in the day, she left her messenger open. So what I did was I hopped on the computer and I just started putting animal noises in, like I put in moo and oink. And unfortunately, I didn't know. Like I felt really bad when she told me. Like the person I was talking to was a fat girl.
Mm.
So I felt really bad. She thought it was hilarious. Like,
it's also like a thing. I don't remember if it was Messenger or MSN Messenger or something else, but there was like a thing where you could change the like notification sound for when you get a message. So I had it set to the oh from Down with the Sickness. So I would just get jump scared every time I fucking got a message.
You had your computer scaring yourself. That's great. Yeah, I'll set that up again. I bet you can do it.
Yeah, there's probably some fucking way to do it with Discord and such.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, so, top of the world. What are we talking about today?
Well, let's see. Let's start off with the important shit. Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony are, I guess they're not sending consoles to Russia anymore? Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, a lot of businesses and all that are like cutting themselves off from Russia.
Not necessarily though. I'm gonna say this. You know, I don't know who's playing. Like, I don't know who's buying like a Nintendo Switch in Russia. In Brazil, like if we went to war to Brazil, this would absolutely make sense because with all the tariffs, it costs like what $900 or $1,000 American to get a imported console like that. So if we sanction those, or not even sanction, if the companies stop selling it, it'll be like, I don't know if it's rich people, but yeah, like I guess rich people, if you're fucking dropping $1,000 or near $1,000 for a console, but
or anyone who really wanted a PS5 fucking year ago.
Exactly. But if it's just normal like people like paying a regular price for a console, like I'm not really for that because it's like the normal folk aren't the reason behind.
Yeah, they're not the ones doing the shit.
Government's madness. Yeah. Nestle's a piece of shit company though.
I mean, a lot of companies are not great, but Nestle's up there. I do like chocolate though.
They do make good chocolate.
I haven't had chocolate in so long because of fucking dieting.
Yeah.
Dang this.
I put chocolate in my protein drink. I have it. I really needed one. I brought in like 400 cans, or not 400 cans, 400 half rack of canned pop into the store I'm working at now. Yesterday. Holy cow, I was really sore. Well, I wasn't really sore. Like, I had made sure to drink plenty of water. I put banana for potassium into my protein shake, and after work, I had hot dogs with mustard on them just to make sure I wouldn't get cramps. And then I finished the day off with I put Epsom salts into my bath water.
Oh, well, that's you know. But did you ever put Gamer Girl water into your bath water?
Not that time.
No, that time.
Maybe next time I'll do it. I gotta see if she games though.
Yeah.
Like I gotta tell her, play the game so that you can be a gamer girl, and she's gonna just look at me and wonder like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah. I mean, you don't want fucking bathwater from some random lady who doesn't play games. You got to be able to taste the video game in that bathwater that you're drinking. Yeah.
Exactly. I gotta tell her that, and she's gonna think. I wonder what what a normal a person who's not like doesn't follow news like that, what they would think of that. Because I know other girls who probably know that happens and think it'd be hilarious. I'll go for it. He's so silly.
So what else we got going on?
Well, I'm talking about work. So I got paid today, and you know, I didn't know how much I was being paid. So something happened to a guy at the store across the street from So the store is right across the street. I used to work there back when I was in school. Like I go there between jobs, kinda, and yeah, like I said, something happened to the guy, so I'm there for temporarily. Like I'll have a different job in the future, but you know, I was worried about how much I was being paid, and I got a check today, and I am being paid $15 an hour, which I'm very happy with. You know, just stocking shelves and you know, bringing stuff in. It's more than I was being paid in core drilling 10 years ago. You know, I was gonna be really upset if I was like being paid $12 or something. But I think like 15 is, you know, I think that's fair. Or, you know, I mean, I can't complain. Well, you know, I guess I could always complain, but you know, like, why am I not getting $90 an hour?
I mean, that's what you should be getting for existing.
So the reason I brought this up is back at my old job, my old boss and I would have this debate. Like he would say, he doesn't believe that
the Holocaust happened.
I'm not sure about that. I didn't want to find out. Like, you know, I have a rule. Like if you don't want to, like if you don't want the answer, don't ask the question. I didn't want the answer to that. But so he would tell me he didn't believe people who flip burgers should get $15 an hour. And doing this job reminds me, but I remember. Well, I remember anyway. Like doing these what people say is what people call low skill jobs are such a pain in the ass. Like I'm doing more physical work than I've done at my last job, and I mean. It's ridiculous. Like
it's the same people who like say that these are like low skill jobs and you know all that, and people shouldn't get paid that much for them. That would get super pissed if everyone just quit and they didn't have people to fucking do these jobs. Yeah,
I mean, you know, before like during the pandemic. Oh, we're still in the pandemic, but early mid to the pandemic,
it's never fucking ending.
Yeah, it's never gonna end. But you know, we call them essential workers, and now they're low skilled again.
Yeah.
Right. It's such bullshit. Like, I think the minimum wage ought to be $15 an hour. And even that's not gonna. That, you know, for some places that's not. Well, probably a lot of places it's not a livable wage.
Yeah.
I think I think doing this job, working $15 an hour, working every day, I imagine I could like figure out paying for an apartment and living at my needs. I obviously don't do that right now. I still got plenty of money left over from my old job and whatever. Hey, it costs money to do this podcast.
Yeah. It does.
You'll find out all this stuff when you start working at 7-Eleven or
if they ever fucking hire me.
No, you'll probably just start raking in the millions in a couple of years with this podcast.
Yeah.
You'll be calling Joe Rogan.
I was about to say I'm going to be the new Joe Rogan with even more transphobia.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. Well, I made my point there. If you don't got any ad, I guess we could transition to something else that has to do with transphobia.
All right, let's talk about some transphobia.
So,
is this gonna be the Vaush thing?
No, I don't even know what Vaush has been up to.
Him and Contrapoints got into a whole thing, and some other streamer.
It's like a 3-hour video. I didn't feel like watching it.
I didn't see a video. I just saw there was some shit on Twitter.
Well, let's go into that after. So, talk about transphobia. Well, I guess this would be more like homophobic. So I'll just say it, my favorite tag team in pro wrestling is the Briscoe brothers.
Oh yeah, they recently apologized again for the homophobic comments in the past.
And the reason news came out is the reason they're not in AEW is, I thought it was Tony Khan, but I've heard the news that it's actually someone in not TBS, whoever runs the Turner Networks. That's what it is. They don't like what they said on Twitter 10 years ago, and that's fine. But what I don't like about cancel culture is there's no ability to allow someone to
grow,
and there's no room for forgiveness.
Yeah, like people got to be able to fucking get better. There's some things where it's like, okay, they should not be ever forgiven for it. Like rape and stuff like that. But when it comes to people making like bad comments that they no longer agree with years ago on Twitter, like no, that's not. They should have a chance to grow from that.
And I don't know if you want to bring up an example. I think I would say 10 years ago I was very Islamophobic. I was a very militaristic atheist, and I used to believe there was something special about Islam, where Muslims were evil in some way. Not right now. I know that's ridiculous. I mean, all religions are just freaking stupid, and the reasons for all the things that happen in the Middle East isn't Islam. It's not the religion. Like, it would be happening if it was a different religion, or if there wasn't a religion. I mean, there's people there that use religion to justify things, but that's what it is. It's not really, I mean, maybe some people have Allah talking to their head and you believe that, but it's not really that. But it's not, I was wrong. I'll say I was wrong.
Yeah, and you know that, and you've admitted that, and you changed your stance on it.
Absolutely.
And in fucking 5 years, you're gonna get canceled for it.
Oh yeah, thankfully I did. I don't know. Maybe there's a Twitter post or a Facebook post or something. But maybe someone will dig through them. I mean, like we got them now. What about you? Do you have any examples for yourself, or do you not want to out yourself?
I've done a lot of shit. I can't think of anything specifics off the top of my head, but I know there's definitely a lot of things that I've said that I don't agree with anymore. And I mean, I'm still probably saying shit nowadays that I, at some point in the future, will no longer agree with. But you just gotta learn, gotta fucking educate yourself and realize what you're saying is not good. And I think people should have the chance to do that. instead of just, fuck their career or fuck their entire lives forever because they had dumb opinions in the past.
And so we don't get the Briscoe brothers for something they said on Twitter 10 years ago, but we got Nick Gage, who was arrested for robbing a bank. Like, what the hell's that? Like, what kind of standards do they have over there on Twitter? We're fine with robbery and all the explicit drug use and violence, but please, like don't make bad Twitter comments. Like, come on, dude. So what happened with Vaush and Contrapoints? Like, I didn't watch the video because I mean, I usually watch Vaush videos. Most of the time they're like 15, 30 minutes. Like, yeah, I'll watch them. Like, I like Vaush, but like, so do you know what happened?
So I don't know the full context, so I'll preface it by saying that from what I saw, so J.K. Rowling said some stupid fucking transphobic shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and Vaush responded to it, calling her out. But while doing that, he said he made like a fucking. It was obviously a joke, but it was a very misogynistic joke, even though it was meant to be like ironic. Saying something like, "When are women gonna shut up and apologize?" or something like that. He just lost Moose.
So what happened was, he made.
Did I leave the call? Or he okay? Moose, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, there we go. We got Moose back.
God damn it! Discord again.
Fucking Discord
again. So what happened was my Discord, like, whatever reason, refreshed on me. Gotta. Alright, so Vaush made a tweet, and then he made a misogynistic joke, and J.K. Rowling quote tweet or found his tweet. She didn't quote tweet him. She screenshotted him. And,
he replied to her with the thing about fucking something like when are women gonna stop talking and apologize, something like that.
He might have done that too. I was just saying what the start was. And I remember when it happened, or I wasn't watching when it happened, but I remember seeing the video and he was drunk when he was doing it too.
So another YouTuber, a trans YouTuber, I can't remember her name. It's not Contrapoints, but it's a friend of Contrapoints, I believe. She called Vaush out for it because she felt that it wasn't, and this is something I agree with, wasn't good for the trans community for like those kind of jokes, even if they're like aimed at somebody being transphobic, because part of the discourse against trans people from TERFs is that they're sexist, and jokes like that further push that narrative, even if like Vaush isn't actually trans. He's an advocate for trans, but like, yeah. So she had a problem with that, and she ended up posting this like really long Twitter thread about it, like really fucking long. And he replied, and that ended up being a whole thing. And then Contrapoints jumped in at some point to basically say like,
I'm going to Twitter.
To say something about like fucking she's an actual trans woman, you're cis, you should probably not just dismiss her thoughts on this, stuff like that. I know Razor's thoughts were basically that Vaush was in the right here, and that Contrapoints was just defending her friend because it was her friend. I don't know. All I know is I agree with the one point about you shouldn't use sexist jokes while trying to defend trans people, because that just further pushes the narrative against them.
Well, I remember the first sexist thing he said, and like he was making a dumb, stupid joke. That I don't know what he said to like if he was sexist again to J.K. Rowling. I'd say, the first time he did the joke, he wasn't talking to J.K. Rowling. She went out, found it, and
this time it was directly responding to her.
Yeah, I'm getting to that. I'm getting to the second part where he's responding. He's drunk. He did something stupid, like, but I think the thing is, like, we should allow people to be stupid when they're high or drunk. Like me, like when I'm high or drunk, I might do something fucking stupid. But Vaush, he ought to say, all right, come on. Like, but he should be able to say, come on. But instead, I think what's happened from what you're telling me is he was defending it.
Apparently the DMs between Vaush and the trans woman got leaked because like they had a whole big like long DM conversation after she called him out for the comments, and during that I didn't find the actual like screenshot from that, so I can't verify. But apparently during that he actually like admitted that part was wrong, that he was wrong to do that. But then like her issue became about like I guess just the way he was responding to her and his general attitude. I don't know entirely, but I do know that he apparently, like I say, I do know, but it's based on what I've heard. He in the DMs did say that he was wrong for the sexist joke, and he shouldn't have included that. I know one thing that he took issue with was apparently this made it to him seem like people were more okay with J.K. Rowling being transphobic than they were with him making that joke in response to her transphobia.
I mean, that'd be hard to gauge. I don't like. That might not even be. We'd have to look at I guess you'd have to look at her posts and the replies to it.
Yeah, and there's so much of it.
There's so much of it. Like that'd be impossible to. Yeah, I guess I was right. It's really impossible to engage unless you gauge unless you got
Nick
all
Gage.
the time in the world to.
Bank.
Nick Gage. Like let's get Nick Gage on it. Like no problem. Bank will pay you to go through Twitter for us. I love Twitter, but it's a great website for brain farts.
Okay, so that's that situation. At least what I know of it. What else we got going on?
I'm done scrolling through Twitter. Let's move on. St. Patrick's Day today. When we're recording.
Yes, the day of this recording. There's only about an hour left of the day for me, but that's fucking St. Patrick's Day.
So, do you have I never knew until I went on Wikipedia this morning what the hell St. Patrick's Day was actually about. All I remember is at school you had to wear green or you'd get pinched.
Oh, were you getting pinched a lot? Or were you wearing
green? It happened.
Oh man,
it happened. I forget about it.
I mean, it's too late now by the time this episode comes out. But hey, next year, if anybody wants to wear some green for St. Patty's Day, there's a Green People shirt available on the Gopher Tuk merch store. Yeah, I'm gonna shill that right now.
Wait, I'll buy it for St. Patrick.
Huh.
So do you have any memories of St. Patrick's Day when you were a kid, or
no,
even after?
I have never at any point in my life really given any thought to St. Patrick's Day. I did as a kid occasionally wear green, but it was it wasn't something I made a real effort to do. It was just like, hey, if I saw that I had a clean shirt that was green, I think alright, I'll wear this, I guess.
Oh, so you didn't get pinched for not wearing green? Oh man, why did they do that here? It's part of the indoctrination. I guess a lot of people drink for it.
Yeah.
Or it's a holiday, whatever. I decided to read up on St. Patrick. So he was a dude who got who lived in Roman Britain. And he got kidnapped by pirates.
He got kidnapped by pirates? Okay.
And they made him an indentured servant, I guess would be the term, a slave. And he did that for 6 years. And then God told him, you gotta escape, bro. And he did it. He did it.
He escaped, bro.
And I guess the clover thing is connected because he would put clovers on his cross, I guess.
I thought you were about to say he would put clovers on his crotch.
Well,
that'd be cool.
We're getting
sexy now. Sexy St. Patty's Day.
And that's all I remember from the Wikipedia article. I'll say this. If I was, like, captured by pirates and then made to be a slave for 6 years, I'll probably start hearing voices, too.
Yeah. That doesn't seem like a great scenario to be involved in. You know? Slavery is bad. I'm gonna have the hot take there. That's my hot take of the week. Slavery is bad.
Take there.
Yeah. I'm doing a hot take every week now, apparently.
Well, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna tweet you right. I'm gonna quote you right now. Like,
there you go.
Let's see, I'm going to the top of the world. I'm logged onto the top of the world Twitter and see. Slavery is bad.
Yes,
I'll do a dash at Gopher into
yeah. Hot take. Put a hashtag hot take of the week in there.
Hot take of the week.
There we go.
All right, I'm tweeting it. You're canceled. Canceled.
I'm canceled. Oh god! Imagine like all the shit that I've done and said, and then I get canceled for saying slavery is bad.
Well, it'll make a comeback, and then you'll get canceled like in 10 years. Oh man. So, you know, I could see why St. Patrick's Day isn't a national holiday. Like, there's not much to this story.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's kind of cool that he escaped, but then he decided, yeah, I'm just gonna convert pagans to Christianity. Like, whatever, dude.
Yeah, that's, he did stuff. And now people get to drink and be Irish. Yeah. You know, if it wasn't for St. Paddy's Day, it would be illegal to be Irish.
True. True. Did he ever have 4-leaf clover?
No. I don't believe I have.
I used to. I lost it.
Oh. Doesn't seem very lucky.
Yeah. I got unlucky and lost it.
Mm.
How about... Alright, so... I think it's time to advertise the Gopher and Tuk show. This is the intro, and later the outro.
Yeah, the outro. Alright,
yeah. So, what you been doing what's been going on to YouTube this week? What streams do you have coming up? And actually, this is going up Saturday morning. There's actually a big stream happening Saturday night.
Yes, assuming anyone is there to actually join in. I need at least one person.
I'm going in.
Yeah.
I'm joining in.
Well, there you go.
And Kitty will be here.
Hey.
So, unfortunately, what's gonna happen is there's gonna be one view for 2 people. But whatever. I'll make him comment on his phone. I'll do that for you.
So that's gonna be Saturday night, the night of this episode going up at 9:00 in my time. It's gonna be starting, which will be Central Time, 9:00 p.m. Unless nobody shows up until Moose is off work, in which case it'll start whenever Moose is off work. It's gonna be a drinking stream. We did one a couple weeks ago, doing another one again, but this time it'll be my first ever Smash Bros. Drinking stream. We're playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's gonna be open lobby. Anybody can join. I mean, it's gonna be a password, but like, if anybody in the chat is like, "Hey, I want in," they get the password. And it's gonna be single battles, 1-on-1. Losers get rotated out every round, and anytime I lose, I have to take a shot. So this is the first time now where me drinking could be the direct result of any viewer. They could just come in and make me drink by beating me in Smash.
Oh. Man, you might die.
I could. I mean, depends on if I get any good Smash players in there. If fucking Raven shows up, my kidneys are fucked.
When's the last time you saw Raven?
It's been a long time. That dude is pieced out. So I'm feeling
we need to get hold of him somehow.
we do not.
Or her. I don't know.
I think it's a guy. I think he said he was a guy. But yes, that's gonna be happening. Still doing Elden Ring, getting through that. Occasionally doing the Dark Souls 2 co-op with Jeff. We've done one so far, one stream of that, because fucking guys playing so much Elden Ring.
Well, I've heard it to be good.
Yeah, yes. And just some other shit, whatever other shit that we do on the channel, the usual. As for the YouTube, God of War is approaching its end. I've already, as I mentioned before, I've finished recording God of War. It's done recording, as is Shenmue 3. Shenmue 3 has...
what? What?
Yeah.
What?
I finished the game. There's still, like, a month's worth of episodes left. Like, as far...
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, so there's still plenty of content to come for Shenmue, but I have actually finished recording the game. It was completed. I didn't get fucking timed out. Anything like that. I did... I beat the fucking game. That fucking goddamn game.
Did you avenge your father?
I guess you'll have to find out when the finale comes out.
I can't wait.
Yeah. So there's that. Tuk's WWE 2K22 GM mode for Tuk Thursday just began. He did the first recording session of that, and the first episode of that went up today as of this recording. On Thursday.
I just got I got off work and we started doing this podcast. I gotta watch that.
Gotta watch that. Gotta get caught up on Shenmue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's happening now on Thursdays. Tuk hasn't done a Tuk Thursday in a while, but that's he's bringing it back with that. He still never finished that game of Monopoly. Those computers are still waiting. We recorded some small stuff there as well. We tried to record a WWE 2K22 one-off of like me and him playing the game, facing each other, but it just we can't get it to work.
Man.
I was worried because this was our first time trying to play the game online. I was worried that once we got into the lobby together, there would be problems, like it wouldn't load us in, or it would be really laggy or something like that. I couldn't get into the lobby with him. The game just kept crashing. Like every time I tried to get into the lobby with him, it closed. The game just straight up closed. We spent like half an hour recording nothing because I couldn't get in the fucking lobby with him. So that didn't end up happening. Hopefully they'll fix that shit at some point. We can do that. But we did record a one-off of Dragon Ball Fighter Z, since that is on Xbox Game Pass now. So we recorded that. It was my first time playing it. He has played it before. I have not played it before. And as you can imagine, it doesn't go super well for me. And we also did, I don't know if you've heard of this, but Markiplier last month did a video called Pokemon Smash or Pass.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, it's him doing the Smash or Pass question for all, like, 890-something Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, I saw Vaush do something like that.
Yeah, so it's been, like, one of those things where a bunch of other YouTubers have done it as well.
Yeah, I was only able, like, he did like 20 Pokemon, and I was like I couldn't watch it anymore. I didn't really like. Would you fuck this Pokemon? Like.
Yeah. So yeah, we did that. We did and that's probably gonna be split into like 4 episodes. It was about an hour and 15 minutes of Tuk and I talking about fucking.
No,
Pokemon.
I'd like to know what Pokemon Tuk would fuck. That's what I want to know.
I think he might have actually chose Smash for more than I did. It was pretty close. It was our Smash numbers were pretty close.
Cool.
But so that's going to be going up at some point, probably after God of War ends. That's going to be going up. And then Kirby comes out. We're going to be recording Kirby for the first time, probably next Saturday, which will be the day after it comes out. And they got the Spider-Man DLC. We're gonna start recording that this week. That'll be going up once Shenmue's videos are finished going up. And yeah, that's our current deal on the old YouTubes.
And I'll say this: this is a Gopher and Tuk show. Well, like this podcast goes up on the Gopher and Tuk channel, and we're gonna have a very special guest next week. We're having Joe Evans, who's running for Congress in Idaho. I believe the 1st district, and he's running as a Libertarian. We're gonna have him on the show. He'll be hanging out with us.
Yeah, we'll have our technically 3rd guest because Kitty was here that one time. But we had Ian as well, and now we will have this guy. What's his name? You said?
Did I say Joe Evans?
Joe Evans. Yes, we will have Joe Evans here next week.
Yeah, see, so since we're talking about Joe, so what do you know about libertarianism or being a libertarian?
Not
I would say that I believe I'm more libertarian than you are, But I'm not nearly as libertarian as Joe is.
What can you explain to me what exactly a libertarian is? Because I've never been entirely sure. I know Vaush claims he's like a libertarian socialist or something like that.
I believe a good definition, but obviously just
isn't Kane libertarian?
Yeah. He says he is. I believe he is. The thing is, like, Ben Shapiro says he's libertarian. He ain't a libertarian.
Ben Shapiro's just
I think Kane's a libertarian.
So what exactly?
Another one. But so I think a good definition to use is a libertarian's someone who believes in the maximizing the liberty, maximizing liberty at the individual level. That's what I'll define it as.
Okay.
So, they'll often say, you should be able to do as you want as long as you're not hurting other people. I often have different disagreements with libertarians. I have, there's a lot of time I agree with Joel, times I disagree with Joel, but I think when it comes to stuff like that, you and I have disagreements on that as well.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we definitely have. I think it's nice to have different viewpoints, and someone who's definitely libertarian is Skitty. Like, he'll tell you, man, don't trust the police.
I feel like Kitty is his own fucking political affiliation. That guy is just Chris Foster, the party.
Yes.
So yeah, that guy, Mr. Joe, will be here next week to talk about whatever it is we're talking about next week.
We'll talk about his campaign. We'll talk about being a libertarian.
Yeah, much more politically focused show next week.
And everything's political.
I guess. I'm just mean less about video games and wrestling, presumably, for next week.
Well, now that RT's gone, maybe we'll get Jesse Ventura onto the show.
Yeah, that would you got him on the ballot. You can also get him on the show.
Absolutely. I think I don't know if it's true because I never checked it out, but someone apparently gave me Jesse Ventura's number, and I never wanted to call it because, I could test it out, but it'd be so weird. Like, what the hell would I even say to him?
Won't be on a podcast.
Like, hey Jesse, how's it going? Can you imagine?
You just call me like, hey, you ever hear the Top of the World podcast starring Joshua Hadley and Justin Belanger? Well, I'm Joshua Hadley.
I imagine he would appreciate, maybe, I think he'd tell me he'd appreciate that I put up the money to get him on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'd ever say to him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, having a celebrity's number and I guess other people would just jump at the chance, but that's kind of a weird thing to do. Just randomly call someone.
You probably just spout some random trivia about fucking obscure wrestling facts from the 60s.
Man, that time I wrestled Terry. I can't do his voice. I wrestled Terry Funk. All right. So when you're doing your plugs, you're talking about times. People, make sure to set your watches an hour ahead because daylight savings time happened.
Yeah, I didn't even know it happened until later, the day that it happened. I was watching Attack on Titans, new episode of that came out on Crunchyroll, and afterwards I was looking at the comment section, and it was all comments about daylight saving time, and I was like, oh, that happened. Okay, huh?
I knew it was happening because I took a look at a calendar, and I don't look forward to the jump forward because it's a hour, you go to like you go to work an hour earlier than like you normally would. It always pisses me off.
Why?
Or like, I remember like working in Red Dog Mine and being on night shift when you jump an hour back, so you gotta work another hour. Like.
So
I've
never fully understood why we have daylight saving time. I know I believe it has something to do with like farming. Is it like a thing that's still relevant though?
It might, but the idea is, yeah, I think it does have to do with farming. But you know, the idea is you want the maximum amount of sunlight during the day. So in the northern hemisphere, I believe, when we jump forward like this, it allows us to get more sunlight when most people are at their waking hours. I think that's what it is. And in the winter, it's gonna be dark anyway. So if you jump back, like you know, you add it goes from like in the fall, you fall back, so it goes from you go to 2 o'clock and it jumps back to 1. So you get the whenever the sun comes up, it will be early. It'll be I guess it'll be earlier in the day. So even though time's a construct, but like whatever. I'm trying to explain this. But yeah, so if the sun, so in the winter, if the sun comes up like 7 o'clock or whatever, and you jump back an hour or 8, I don't know. Like I live in Alaska, we either have like a little bit of sun or like it's up all the time. So, but like yeah, if it comes up, like, if it's the winter and it's coming up at a later time, and you do the fall back, it comes out up an earlier time for you. That's why. That's why daylight saving times exist in America.
Yeah, so that happened recently. So we're on that. If you haven't changed your shit, then change your shit.
Yeah, I finally did it. For a couple of days I didn't. So I just look at the clock and I would think, all right, so I got it. Remember, it's an hour later.
Yeah.
I know it's an hour later, and like where I'm at, but my clock is an hour behind. So I was being lazy and I didn't want to mess with it, but I finally did my clocks this morning.
I think the main reason why I never remember is because like all of my stuff just does it automatically. I don't have anything I need to specifically set myself. It's all just automatic. So like I have no reason to have to change anything. So I just never even remember that it's happening.
I don't have to worry about my phone. I used to wear watches 10 years ago, and I was working in mining, and my like the band on my wrist for the watch would always get ripped off, so I'd lose it. So I stopped wearing watches then, and now that we got smartphones, there's no reason like to own a watch unless it's a smartwatch, I guess.
I was about to say, he's gonna fucking shit all over Brandon's face right there, but then he said smartwatch. Him and his fucking rich guy fucking Apple.
There's a lot more. There's cool features to a smartwatch to where, like, I don't know what, like, I know there's like stuff where it could like, I know that you can feel your pulse on your wrist, so a smartwatch can like track your heartbeat, and you can do things with that. There's cool features you can have with a smartwatch, but a regular watch, like what the hell's the point? Like, if you have a phone,
yeah. You can look at your wrist and see the time instead of looking at your phone and seeing the time. Or looking many of the other places that exist that show the time. Because it's very hard to find anywhere that doesn't have a clock. Now, before we go on to the next subject, I think it's time for our weekly segment that everybody looks forward to. Opening some fan letters and answering the stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our weekly Ask Gopher segment.
Yes, Ask Gopher. What questions do the fans bring in for me today?
I gotta bring it up.
Yes.
So let's see here. All right. From Muffin, dearest white man, when are you gonna play Smash Brothers? That's been answered, but there's a second question. Have you ever attempted to swallow toothpaste?
Okay, so yeah, as you mentioned, the first question was already answered. That's gonna be today of this episode going up Saturday. As for the second question, have I ever attempted to swallow toothpaste? I have swallowed toothpaste.
I've done it on accident.
I mean, I never like fucking just grabbed the tube and just chugged the shit. But there's been time where, you know, I've tasted a small bit of it, and it just went down. And when it comes to like actually brushing, yeah, some of it slips down there every now and then.
I never have it slip down like since that time I swallowed it on accident. Like you're doing something different than I am if you're like accidentally swallowing toothpaste.
Well, it's not like a fucking swallowing like a big chunk of it or anything. It's like a tiny trickle might fall down there every now and then. It's a whole process brushing teeth. Fucking, I have a difficult time keeping it all in my mouth, which apparently.
Well, I sometimes sometimes I'll drool it out, so it goes out.
Yeah.
For me, it goes out the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's the issue for me. Which it doesn't seem like most people seem to have that issue, but that happens to me very often. I have a hard time not having that happen.
Sometimes it happens to me. Like 1 out of 10 times I'm brushing my teeth, I'll drool it, but most of the time I keep it in somehow. Well, actually, like if anything, I'll look like I have like a rabies or something. Like it'll be on my lips, but it won't go anywhere else. But like sometimes I'll have the drool.
So that answers your question there, Muffin. We got another fan letter from a Muffin. We don't know if it's the same Muffin, but you know, some Muffin has sent us another letter. Well, what is next?
From Mr. Smurf in blue jersey.
Okay.
He wants to know what's your favorite Madden game?
Favorite Madden game? I don't remember which ones have which features, but I know I prefer the ones from however long ago they were, where you could like properly fucking create your own team instead of the fucking like relocation option that they added a long time ago, and it has just been the case where there's like a set list of names you can choose from and certain cities. And like
so before you could like just create a team and put it anywhere in North America or something.
You could just choose wherever you want them to be from. You can choose the name. You can fully customize the uniform and all that. Now it's just fucking. You get like a set list of cities, and then each city has like 3 name options, and then each name option has like 3 preset uniforms, and they haven't added any new cities and names and all that in years. Is stupid. So my favorite game from Madden would be one of the ones that had actual customized teams.
I've seen videos, and I've seen Madden get on like worst game of the year lists several years in a row. Like, and it seems like
it's very lazy.
I don't want to say the developers are lazy, but
they are.
They're doing well. They might be, but they're doing a game or a game a year, and I don't think that's allows for a lot of development time for a.
Well, I mean, most of the game every year is just a copy and paste of the previous year. Like they just copy and paste most of the fucking game every year with some slight changes. Most of the focus is always on fucking Ultimate Team.
That is lazy. Yeah, that's lazy.
I mean, they have glitches in the game like that's been in the games for 7 or 8 years. Something like that seems so easy to fix. They just still in each game. And there's even been times where like it's been proven that they straight up copy and paste stuff, because they've had like, I don't remember what the exact thing was, but there was like a video somebody posted that showed like a practice area in the game, like when you're doing practice in franchise mode, teams doing that, and you can clearly see the fucking like Madden, like the previous year's Madden logo on the fucking like billboards or like on the side in the fucking practice area. It had the previous year's thing still in there, the fucking logo.
Man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, one of the fucking ones with the created shit. Probably like 07 or 08, somewhere around there. A lot of people say 05 was really good, I don't really remember, but that's one that a lot of people like.
So. All right, from Kevin in India.
Okay.
Dear Gopher, sometimes I watch your stuff, sometimes I don't. I miss when you're able to do reviews of wrestling pay-per-views, but I know WWE was being a cunt and took your and was trying and was messing with your videos. I've always thought Sabu was one of the most innovative wrestlers of all time. I think a lot of today's talent takes what Sabu did and apply it to their matches today. I'm gonna add a comment here. A lot of springing off the ropes, jumping into the crowd, the way I think Sabu made tables popular. Oh, I'm good, but I'll get back to what he was saying. So he wants to know who do you think is inspired the most of today's wrestlers? Who do you think most of today's wrestlers take inspiration from, knowingly or not?
I'm not sure. That's a tough one. I'm trying to think of who. I'm trying to think of stuff that's standard for today. There's a lot of spots. People enjoy doing the fast-paced stuff, which I don't know who really popularized that.
I guess for the spots, wouldn't it be the Hardy Brothers?
That's probably up there. Yeah, probably big inspiration for a lot of people, especially a lot of tag teams. Like fucking the Young Bucks were probably most likely fucking heavily inspired by them. Private Party, who they just faced recently in AEW. Hardys are definitely a big inspiration for a lot of people. I feel like Dwayne, Mr. The Rock, is a big inspiration for a lot of people when it comes to storytelling and promos. Because he had a certain thing about him, about his personality, that I don't know how to describe this, but I feel like he's a big inspiration for a lot of people with how they go about promos and such. I'm rambling nonsensically, basically, but Kurt Angle, I feel like, is a big inspiration for a lot of technical wrestlers. And another guy who, you're not usually supposed to talk about, fucking WWE, Benoit. I don't know who would be the most though. I don't know who would be the most influential to today's crop of wrestlers. But I would say probably somebody from the fucking late 90s, early 2000s, Attitude Era into Ruthless Aggression Era, kinda. Somebody from that generation. Probably several wrestlers from that generation are big influences for a lot of younger guys these days. Also, what was the guy's name? Who did the letter?
Kevin from India.
Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. You saw my Fastlane video that I re-uploaded 4 times, but fucking WWE refused to let it stay on YouTube.
Damn it, WWE. Ruining Kevin's viewing experience.
Yeah. At least I got to see it before it went down. So that has been...
for me...
Yeah?
if I was to answer, I'd say Jack Evans.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, fucking, what's his name? Amazing Red would be another one in the similar vein.
Yeah.
In a similar vein of Jack Evans, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking wrestling, and so guys, we're having a debate, and we're putting up a poll on Twitter. How should we do this? Should we say who? Let's do it. Should we ask people who they think won the debate, or should we ask? I guess we could do both. We could ask people who won the debate and what their answers. We might just get the same answers for.
I'm not good at debating, so you'll probably win.
I've only debated. Well, I've done maybe 2 debates. A couple of debates, maybe 3 debates in my life.
I'm not good about getting my points out.
So we decided. All right. So here's what brought this on. In the news, Tony. I don't know. I don't remember how this got brought up, but in a AEW creative meeting, Jim Ross told Tony Conway came to Orange Cassidy like, "What the hell are we doing? Like, this doesn't do anything." And Tony Khan told him like, Orange Cassidy segments get high ratings. There's a lot to this guy. We don't believe that. I mean, so he was saying like, there might not be much to it now, maybe, or maybe like he's doing this thing, and we gotta see where he could go, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, why don't we do a debate on Orange Cassidy? We both have different opinions on him. We did a show last week during his match, or when he started doing his comedy. I just decided I was done watching that ladder match. So let me ask you: do you enjoy Orange Cassidy's comedy?
Yeah.
I never liked it. Well, since the first time I see him, like, seen him do that, like, I seen him before as Fire Ant, or
was he Fire
Ant?
Yeah, it was one of the ants.
Back when he was Fire Ant. Yeah, he was. I believe he was Fire Ant. I saw him back then.
Drew Gulak was one of the ants.
He might have been. The Orange Cassidy gimmick. The first time I saw it was AEW. I wasn't watching Evolve or anything like that. Not that Evolve was bad or anything. I just, I can't watch all the wrestling in the world. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, not all of it. You watch most of it, especially Insane Clown Posse's thing.
I never watched Juggalo Championship Wrestling, even though I might watch a show for kicks now that you bring it up. But, so I don't get the joke. I don't find it funny. I guess I'll explain it to the people. What he does is he play kicks people in a way where obviously he's not trying to hurt someone. Like, so well I keep saying so. See, you might win the debate because I can't talk.
Oh, you've heard me try to speak. You've heard what happens when I try to say words.
So Orange Cassidy is basically, he's a parody. Well, isn't even like, he's like a...
His gimmick is that he's lazy.
Is that his... I mean, that might be his gimmick, but like...
It's like he's really lazy until like his opponents start giving him the business and he has to take it seriously, and then he kicks into another gear and then, stops being lazy.
But does he ever like kick? I mean, he does like start doing stuff fast, but does he ever like kick it into another gear? Like, I guess he does. Like, sometimes he actually does take his hands off his pockets.
Well, I mean, the first big example of it was the match against Puck. Like that was his like first big moment of like, oh shit, I gotta fucking take this shit seriously, and he went all out after, like, he started off the match doing his usual lazy stick, but then once Puck was kicking his fucking ass, then he started taking it seriously.
I don't understand like why someone just can't beat Orange Cassidy right away. He doesn't take the match seriously, like you said at the start. Like, why don't they just get him in a hold and beat him? Like, a lot of time when I do see an Orange Cassidy match, it hasn't been a lot of times, but when I see it happen, it usually he's kicking the guy and the other guy responds to it by play kicking back. Like,
that sometimes happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the guy who's getting a play kick just decks him in the fucking face as hard as he can.
I mean, what?
Depends on the character he's facing.
Like, I don't get, like, why they don't just win the match right away. Like, I mean, he's...
Because that would be boring.
Well, he has a boring gimmick. Like, I'm gonna say this. I think, like, even if it is funny the first time, like, all he ever does is the same shit. Like, all the time. Like, what character growth has he had?
He's, like, come out of his shell to some degree throughout his time in AEW. He still does the shtick, but it's like, It's not the same as it was when he first came to AEW. And when he first came to AEW, it was just all lazy all the time. He still does the shtick, but a lot of his matches now have more like offense from him and like him taking things to another level more often.
I mean, that's true because like all I can remember is like I was his comic, but like is he like? All right, so I'll start with this. Like last week, he said Jeff Jarrett's a bad wrestler.
Yes, I said that.
So what makes or like I'm gonna start this because I have other examples, but just wrestlers like what makes Orange Cassidy better than Jeff Jarrett? I'm gonna ask that.
Well, first thing that I want to say here in regards to the Jeff Jarrett is not a good wrestler thing is that was a half joking kind of comment where it was like, I don't think he's a bad wrestler actually, but I think he's like it's fucking Jeff Jarrett. Like it's not somebody people are gonna be legitimately hype about, kind of deal. I don't even remember. Yeah, we're talking about Adam Page. So say that. That said, like Orange Cassidy's just, I mean, not for you obviously, but for a lot of people, he's entertaining. Like he's just very entertaining, and he's athletic. Like he could do a lot of really impressive stuff when he's actually getting to that point in the matches where he tries to do that type of stuff. And plus, it's like seeing him do the lazy shit, but like doing impressive acrobatic feats while doing the lazy shit, like being able to fucking do suicide dives and stuff like that with his hands in his pocket. It's impressive to watch.
I mean, I've never been impressed by the guy. I mean, like there's millions of dives that happen all the time, and I don't think he's a particularly good wrestler. And so I brought up Jeff Jarrett just to stock wrestlers, but all right, so let's make the sphere smaller and just say in the world of comedy wrestlers, because he is a comedy wrestler, and
yeah, I agree with that.
So what, like, I would say Colt Cabana's a good comedy wrestler. El Generico was a good comedy wrestler. I think they can do things that are legitimately funny. But I guess I already made this point. Like, you know, when I watch him, I just don't think he's funny at all. And it's always been the same shtick. I've watched Colt Cabana for years, and I don't just see him doing the same stuff all the time. Even though he's like in different companies, like you do see him like, of course, like when like in the span of a year, you'll see the same stuff happen. But like, you know, it should be like, you know, it's not like there's no reason like if you're at a place in Kentucky with 200 people and you go to like somewhere in Illinois that's next door with like 500, like it's not like you got the same audience. But yeah, like Orange Cassidy, or I'm sorry, like Colt Cabana, he changes his stick, he does different stuff. Orange Cassidy, like as far as I've seen, it's the same thing every time.
This is gimmick.
I mean, even if it was good, like shit gets stale.
So that's the thing, though. Like it's your opinion that it's stale, and you don't enjoy it. Like there are a lot of people, Tony Khan mentioned the fucking ratings.
I mean, even stuff I enjoy. You know, like say you're looking at porn or something. Like if you just look at the same shit every day, like sooner or later it's not gonna interest you. I mean, obviously, like for whatever reason that I don't understand, the AEW fans love Orange Cassidy. I think, and you know when the ratings thing is brought up, what I don't ever what I don't get is like, well, when it comes to television ratings, you know, people don't exactly know when Orange Cassidy is going to be on television. What often brings up the high ratings for television is the segment that happened before and want to get people to tune in.
So you're saying that they're constantly putting on those kind of segments before, like specifically before Orange Cassidy?
I don't think that's I don't think that's pre-planned. I think that's just what happens. And I haven't really looked into what happens after Orange Cassidy has a match or whatever, but I think I think that would be the tell. We'd have to look into it, and the information is out there. Maybe we can do that in 2 weeks to see what happens. Like, I mean, we could like Bryan Danielson versus Adam Page is their first match. The ratings kept building, and building because interest grew. And after the match happened, there's a whole shit ton of people happened. Then that terrible promo with Red Dragon, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole happened, and ratings dropped. So what we to really gauge what, like, how much ratings a segment brings in, or how much a segment affects a television program, we have to see where the ratings are after it happens.
I guess I don't know shit about ratings. I'll admit that I don't know shit about most things. So I don't fully know how they work, how they go about deciding what works and what doesn't when it comes to the ratings. I just know people like Orange Cassidy. He gets good reactions. He's also somebody, even though, like, I've heard people complain, like, one of the complaints against him is that he's somebody who would make non-wrestling fans scoff at wrestling or whatever, or think it's a joke. He's somebody who every time I've seen any non-wrestling fan talk about him, it's like one of the few things about wrestling that they've enjoyed in recent time. He's somebody that appeals to non-wrestling fans and helps bring them to wrestling. Like, I know, obviously, I'm not really...
I don't... I'll just say this. I don't believe that. And this is gonna piss people off because I said it before, but AEW doesn't get the ratings TNA did.
Does it not? What ratings?
No,
did
TNA
get?
TNA was getting what TNA at it. I believe TNA at its peak. Like, obviously, its highest rating was with Hogan, but that wasn't getting its best average ratings. TNA, I believe, at its best on Spike TV was getting 1.5 million viewers. I don't believe. I think AEW got close with Rampage when Punk debuted. I think that's the closest they got to
and
getting to.
When was this for TNA? Like,
TNA.
when were they getting those average ratings?
I believe it was when they had the main event Mafia.
Yeah, so probably like
going.
fucking.
So was that like 2009?
Yeah, like 7 years after they've been around, whereas AEW's been around for less than 3, and is in a time where wrestling in general is doing worse ratings.
Oh yeah, I mean, how could we say that? Like, this thing is bringing fan or non-wrestling fans in, and when mainly with wrestling we're getting less and less people constantly. I don't think we can make that argument.
Well, I'm not saying that it's like bringing in fucking truckloads of non-wrestling fans. I'm just saying that, like, I know of non-wrestling fans who watch now because of Orange Cassidy. I know people who maybe they don't even fucking watch actively and still, but they will occasionally watch specifically for Orange Cassidy and stuff like that. Like, the point I'm making here is that people have said that he's somebody that would be a turnoff to non-wrestling fans, to keep them away from wrestling, whereas every reaction I've seen to Orange Cassidy from non-wrestling fans has been positive.
I think the only way... I mean, it's not perfect, so I'll say this. Ratings, television ratings, you know how they get them, right?
Like, they have, like, certain families, like, certain households have, like, the Nelson thing or whatever, and it goes based on...
It's not perfect. It's not perfect, so we kind of, like, even if we do this thing where we look at...
It's like a study,
the
basically.
Orange God. Yeah.
Yeah,
so we could never know truly how many people are watching. But, so, I'll give you this, like, even if I'm right or I'm wrong, we can never really know what Orange Cassidy's impacts on the ratings are. But I would think, I would make this argument, like, if you're watching the show, I'll say this, the show is very, different, like, there's, the show's very different. Like, it's not all comedy, and I think that, I think the whole different variety of things happening is what would turn people off. Like, I mean, you know, I guess, like, people who love, like, I guess people who love Orange Cassidy could watch, like, Bryan Danielson wrestle, but I imagine, like, and the ratings have showed this. I remember this for that episode of Dynamite is, when we got the 60-minute time limit draw with Page and Danielson, their ratings did build, but, the Young Bucks, who I've always said they are terrible at promos, and they had a stupid one with that Cole and Red Dragon, that turned people off. I think having something like Orange Cassidy does turn people off. Not that it needs to. I think, well, you can do it a different way where he gets beaten right away, but, like, why would people want to see that? I guess, yeah, absolutely. I believe it does turn people off if they even care to tune in. The thing is, like, the thing about the thing that does suck about the turn non-wrestling fans off argument is there's no non-wrestling fans watching these shows. I mean, I guess on TNT there was casual AEW watchers that just will watch anything on TNT. Kitty was one of them. Like, he never tuned in to watch Dynamite. He just has his TV on that channel for whatever reason. So I guess there's, like, segments that don't turn people off, but, like, no matter what, like, for whatever reason, like, even when TNA was going up against WWE, like, there was still some people who were watching TNA. But I think, like, someone who just wants to check out pro wrestling and they see that, I mean, yeah, there is people who love it, but I think most people will scoff at it. And I think, for a different example, Chris Jericho used to be really freaking fat, and he couldn't do, like he wasn't how he is right now, which is really good. Mm-hmm. AEW one time aired after NBA, a really big NBA game, and Tony Khan, it was smart to put in someone recognizable like Chris Jericho, but probably Chris Jericho wasn't the person to do that at the time because he was so out of shape, and a lot of the people who watched the NBA game and remembered Jericho from WCW was saying, what the hell is this? It's not even like a comedy wrestler like Cassidy would turn these people off. Sometimes it's this guy they remember from a long time ago being terrible. And that's my point. Do you have anything else to say about Cassidy?
It's a to each their own scenario. There's a lot of people that enjoy him. I know he has plenty of people who dislike him, like such as yourself, who dislike his shtick, his whole thing. But I don't know. I feel like he's somebody that just a lot of people find entertaining, and obviously you and I have differing opinions on, like, AEW trying to have a bunch of different stuff, a bunch of different types of wrestling. You don't really care for that. I do, and I think that.
Well, we got to see what the people think.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a poll about this, I guess, on the Top of the World Twitter.
I'll put it up. I'll put it up Saturday morning. I'll give it a couple days for the time limit. Maybe Wednesday. So get in there, put in your votes. Yes. Tell us what big's a piece of shit you are. Say Snoopy. I'm sorry, Gopher. What's wrong with you? Orange Cassidy's terrible, and then the other people can say, Moose. What's wrong with you? Orange Cassidy's great. You're a piece of shit. Because that's how online discourse goes.
I like how you included "you're a piece of shit" when it's the people arguing against you, but then for the people arguing against me, they just leave that part out. Gotta call me a piece of shit too if they're gonna do that.
Well, they gotta come up with a different insult. They can't just do the same thing.
Okay, piece
they
of
can call you
piece of ass, but like not good ass, bad ass.
Gopher, you imbecile, you idiot, you child.
Yes.
How can you like this guy pretending to kick people? They'll say something like that. That's how they'll insult you.
Yeah.
You gotta give me a second.
Yeah. Well, okay, there you go. So yeah, you go fucking vote the poll, reply to it, insult us. Insult whoever you think lost here, and then yeah. I guess we'll talk about that in 2 weeks on that one, because next week we have the we'll
bring it up. We'll bring it up with Joe, and Joe will be like, "Man, the fuck are these guys talking about?"
It's like the orange case. I like that Orange Julius. What's going on?
We're not gonna just let Joe roll over the program. He's our guest. We're gonna, we'll say, "Hey Joe, what's your favorite video game?" And these guys he'll say Tetris or something. Because he played it out. I think everyone's played it on a Game Boy or something.
There you go. You'll have that in common with them.
True. True. So we're talking wrestling. We're talking wrestling, and something really sad happened. Scott Hall passed away.
Yes, R.I.P. Scott Hall. He had 3 heart attacks.
So yeah, he had 3 heart attacks, and that
he was on life support for a while. They took him off, and he unfortunately passed away.
And what was he, only 63 years old?
Yeah, something around there.
I wasn't a fan of pro wrestling until 2005 when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. And I'm sad. It's sad to say, but my only real exposure to Scott Hall was his TNA run.
Yeah.
I remember 2010. He came in with Hogan, Nash was already there. He came in with Hogan, and Sean Waltman. He was fat. Couldn't wrestle good.
I didn't watch wrestling in his heyday either. I started in about 2000, 2001. And I haven't really seen much of his actual matches, but I have seen some of his promo work. And I think he was fantastic as Razor Ramon, and
I'd say that.
Yeah, and Scott Hall, NWO days and all that. I haven't really seen a whole lot of him, however. But what I did see, I didn't watch TNA during that time. I didn't really watch TNA actively at any point in my life. So I didn't really see much of him in TNA, thankfully. Regardless, though, of how little I may know of him as a wrestler, it's always unfortunate when something like this happens. And we talked earlier about influential wrestlers. I think he was somebody that people from today get something from, get some inspiration from, character-wise.
They all learn how to do his finishing move better, though. I heard someone almost crippled someone else doing the Razor's Edge. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
We'll talk about that in a second. I forgot there's other big news item, but I know that this happened. I don't care to visit late stage WCW. I remember before he was fired or whatever from World Championship Wrestling, they made him last call Scott Hall that was making fun of his drinking problem.
Yeah.
Why not just fire the guy like that? That was so fucked up.
Yeah. I saw Tanahashi did a little tribute to him during his entrance at a recent show, doing little fucking Razor Ramon pose. And apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently in 2002, Scott Hall actually put over Tanahashi. I forgot what the show was, but he was a young lion, if I could fucking say words at the time. And apparently, after the match, he was going around telling a lot of people that Tanahashi's gonna be big. He's gonna be a big deal. and just really putting him over. That was nice. Nice to find out.
Yeah, that's really cool. And
he's one of those.
Tanahashi was a bit. He was like someone who seemed like he was a big deal right out the gate. Like New Japan had titles for people for the young lions basically, and Tanahashi was like one of the two guys, or maybe the only guy that held that belt.
Scott,
but you were gonna say something?
Yeah, there's been a lot like being talked about of like things he's done, and a lot of times when a wrestler dies, or anyone really, like people only talk about good things and they make him seem like a much better person than they actually were. I think this is a case where he was a good person. He like a lot of the wrestlers from back then, he probably made mistakes during that period, but like he's somebody that's grown. Him as well as like Kevin Nash, Sean Waltman. It's not like a scenario like fucking Ultimate Warrior, where that guy dies and WWE names a fucking an award after him, even though he's just a massive piece of shit. Like,
well, that award should go to pieces of shit.
This fucking award dedicated to like charitable people and people who help fucking the cancer patients and shit like that. Named after fucking that guy.
But my favorite thing about Ultimate Warrior is him saying MLK had an easy time because like roads were paved in the 60s, so like if he got beat up or something, he could have a softer landing than landing on the dirt.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
What a fucking idiot. Jesus. But fuck Ultimate Warrior, about Scott Hall. I'll say this really quick. We're talking about inspirational wrestlers. Last night I was watching Scott Hall matches. He did I watched the WrestleMania ladder match, and that was absolutely inspirational to wrestlers today. Like,
yeah,
they might not even know it. They've seen like other ladder matches that followed it that took stuff from this ladder match because that ladder match wasn't the first ladder match.
It wasn't the first one.
Ladder match.
But it was. I think the first one might have had not British Bulldog, Junkyard Dog. Is that?
Yeah, Junkyard Dog and Jake Roberts. And I've seen it. It's the most boring goddamn thing, dude.
But this was the match that like popularized ladder matches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like using the ladder as a weapon, throwing it around, having the ladder get wrecked, like doing spots with the ladder. That match was absolutely inspirational to like watch any ladder match today.
Yeah.
The ladder match from the pay-per-view we just watched, the ladder match they always do at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
those ladder matches are like that ladder like.
This was the one that set the ground.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, this like set the framework for future.
Lay the groundwork.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Scott Hall, and it's nice to hear all the things that he's done coming out. The nice things, not like fucking Ultimate Warrior, fucking, what's her name, Fabulous Moolah, like, we need to stop celebrating horrible people just because they die, but, fortunately, Scott Hall is someone who deserves to be celebrated.
Absolutely. I'll say this, though, we should take, people should learn the lesson from Scott Hall. Like, here's a guy who was in shape, and he went a lot downhill from like drinking and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a lesson that you shouldn't like. I do drugs, but and I've experienced it too where I've done like too much marijuana. Like that was just marijuana. Like he was rich and he was like doing like crazy stuff where he'd pass out or whatever. Like. You shouldn't take things too far, like, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he died at 63, and like, the way he lived his life, what they say, like, the brightest stars, what's the phrase? The brightest stars, they turn out quicker, and he certainly did shine during his lifetime, and he paid the price for it.
Yeah. Although, from what I understand, like he was getting better for a while, especially with the help of DDP, and then doing DDP yoga. So, yeah, it's unfortunate how things ended, though. But I do feel like he was putting in effort, though, which is good.
Yeah, I believe so. You know, I mean, you can only damage your body so much, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Scott Hall, talked about Orange Cassidy. What? I guess the last thing in the news we haven't talked about is Perfect Dark.
Oh yeah, you mentioned something about Perfect Dark. What was that exactly?
It's a video game.
Yes, it is. Oh, I believe you said that the newest game in the series has been in development hell or something like that.
So Microsoft did a video at the end of 2020 where there's no footage. I mean, there's no gameplay at all. There's no game. There's just they have this nice animation thing of I guess the game was meant to take place a level in Egypt where
Abdul.
I don't even know if it's Jonah Dark. They go through a level, kind of it's not gameplay at all. It's just a cinematic trailer that doesn't show any gameplay. One of those trailers, and it looks cool. We go up to a tower, and this girl's up there looking at a tornado happening in Egypt. You know, there's pyramids and stuff. I don't know if it's even Jonah Dark because we don't see her face or anything. But you know. I like the Perfect Dark games. The first one was fantastic. I really like Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah, that's one that I hear people didn't generally enjoy too much, but if you like it, then cool. Oh yeah.
I'll say this: it did it's a good game, but it's not it wasn't the best game happening at the time. I mean.
So you're saying it was overshadowed by a lot of other games at the time?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not like it was a bad game, but I think people were right to have high expectations, and unfortunately, goddamn, my computer's doing so much shit. But unfortunately, just a good game wasn't gonna satisfy people.
Yeah. They had so many quality games coming out, and then it's this anticipated sequel. It just didn't end up being enough, essentially.
Yeah, it didn't be enough, and if it was called something else, people would just remember that game and saying, "Oh yeah, that was good." Unfortunately, it had the name Perfect Dark put on it, and people hate. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm not. They put Perfect Dark on there to sell it.
I feel similarly about another 360 game, Nuts and Bolts. I feel like Banjo. Yeah. I feel like that was not people shit on that game endlessly. I don't think that was a bad game. I just think it's it wasn't what you would want from a new Banjo-Kazooie game at that. So, yeah. People went into it wanting, Banjo 3, but instead they got some other thing that didn't really feel like Banjo-Kazooie. But it was, I feel like it was still a good game, though.
But, and now we got this trailer, but I guess the game's in development hell now. It might be another situation like Duke Nukem Forever where a lot of staff got laid off. And, I don't know if it's the pandemic or whatever.
Maybe it'll be like Shenmue 3 and it'll come out in fucking 20 years and feel like a game from 30 years ago.
It's like Duke Nukem Forever too, huh? Actually, I'd say I guess the same as Shenmue 3. Duke Nukem 3D was so much better than Duke Nukem Forever. Just, I can't even other than maybe I guess other than graphics, Duke Nukem 3D was such a better game than Duke Nukem Forever.
I have not played any Duke Nukem games ever. What happened to John Cena playing him? Was that I heard that he was supposed to play him in a movie. Is that still a thing?
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I heard about that a while ago.
You didn't tell me about that.
Maybe that's in development hell too.
Man, But I'm sure Cars 4 will happen.
Oh no. Oh god. So, do we have anything else to talk about today? Or are we approach the end?
So I'll say this: the Green Party, we're gonna be part of Hemp Fest, which happens every year in Alaska. I believe, and I could be wrong. It's 3 days. I believe it's starting. 420 is definitely one of the days. Blaze it. So it could be April 19th to April 21. And I would like to have one of the people doing it on the podcast. I'm not sure who yet. And we're looking to do some fundraising. A lot of people, we talked about Jesse Ventura and putting him on the ballot. We'd like to do more stuff like that, and we would like to do more things, and we're going to need money. We're going to start fundraising it. I don't think I should be the only one putting money into this thing, guys. Mm-hmm. I've had people in real life tell me, yeah, I think putting Jesse Ventura on the ballot is great. Well, I think now's the time where if you can chip in $5, we're going to look at some donor boxes, some fundraising. We'd like to start doing that. We'd like to be more active, and we will start doing more events, and we're gonna start doing more things. I'll give more updates on the podcast, like this one. Right now, we're in the talks of what we're gonna do, but I do. We are gonna become more active. That's what I have to say about my activities with the Green Party of Alaska. So Hempfest is coming up next month.
Next month,
about
April.
About a month from now.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have somebody from that on the podcast.
So later tonight, if you're listening to this when it comes out, drunk stream.
Yes.
Next week we're gonna have Joe, and we're gonna party it up. And next month we're gonna blaze it. I'm probably not gonna blaze it. I'm trying to stop for a while. I was really bad with it.
I would blaze it if I had access to anything to blaze.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you just have Texas legalize it? Why don't you just legalize it?
I could just become the fucking owner of Texas, the owner of the not mayor, not fucking governor. No, the owner of Texas, and force them to do that. Yeah. Yes. That's the tactic right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Rename it to Texaco.
There was a fucking gas station named that. There was when I lived in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I don't know why the fuck there was a gas station in fucking Pennsylvania named Texaco, but
they probably get their oil from Texas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Top of the World. He's Justin Belanzer.
Yes, I am. Oh, and he's Joshua Headley. Okay, I don't know if I was supposed to do that or not.
He left me hanging, so I had to say it.
I jumped in there a little late, but I got there.
All right, guys. You have a good rest of your day. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.